Hello and welcome everyone. This is Blackadder at Blackadder's Place, and I'm here with another expert match. This time it's going to be between JS's Chef and Deities of Death I Am Magic. Magic, well, I don't really think I need to introduce him all that much. Pretty much the best player around lately. And against him will be standing Chef, recently introduced a new expert at RTS Sanctuary, and well, he is really playing quite well indeed as well. So, we are going to be seeing Poseidon and Isis. Quite interesting matchup, and it's going to be on Watering Hole, which is also quite an interesting matchup, especially for this matchup, because Isis can make use of the kind of closed off map for some safe trading and whatnot, and at the same time Poseidon can actually make use of the high hunt variant of maps in Age of Mythology on Watering Hole, and this could definitely help him with the early raiding. So I guess let's see how it's going to develop. The first we have a look at right now is Chef on the right side, who is kinda plastered on the wall, but that usually happens on Watering Hole because obviously you have all the possible waters around, basically compartmentalizing the map and making sure that players are not really all that close to each other. So he has cast the lure right next to his hunting spot, which is also a pretty good idea, obviously, as it means that he shouldn't have to move all that much all around. Shouldn't really need to build the granary anytime soon, also going for the hunting dogs of course, and otherwise looking at this map, the gold is in a pretty safe position obviously, especially guarded by this tower, but I don't think he's going to need to actually worry about this all that much, looking how he's playing against an Isis. The Rhino on the left is of course going to be useful, as he has some extra hunting there, also scouting with the piggy. You can see that he's right quite nicely, actually shift clicking all around, trying to scout as much as he can with the piggy, and he is going to be quite happy about discovering those two elephants. And looking how the map is, oh well, these cranes, he will probably discover them, but if he's going to use them, I'm not all that sure, because it's not really close to his base, and even though it is safe, yeah, it might really come into game a bit later than usually you would expect. Already moving for the gold in here, as he is at 5 at food and 2 at wood. So yeah, that's quite early to go for the gold, which is basically telling you that he's going to play the standard with the Poseidon, and that's going to be some Hippicon raiding. Otherwise, also scouting on the right side, he has discovered some extra golds, which is interesting because we haven't seen anything on the left next to the TC, which means that he will have to be careful and he will have to develop to the right side as well if he wants to survive, as the gold is not really all that plentiful on this map. You can see just 2 extra gold mines in here and 1 in the middle for each of the players, so this is going to be quite interesting map, and yeah, quite interesting to see how the players will tackle this problem head on. You can see already the Chef is taking care of the priest that has been able to actually cast, or rather build the obelisk right next to the front TC of Chef, also seen those 2 elephants, and we see the first relic, which is for better villager farming rate, and well, that's a pretty good one for either of the players. Next relic is on the left, quite a lot of elephants in here, and that's for Pegasus scouting. Well, not really game changing, but of course scouting is very important, especially in expert games, and could be changing the game with some proper scouting on, for example, gold or even the hunt in here. Let's switch into magic, and it's Fog of War. And he's right now under attack still from the Kataskopos, and otherwise he is in line of sight of both of those relics, so he knows where to go with his Pharaoh potentially, and otherwise he also knows about his front gold, but still, he doesn't see his TC. It was somewhere to the right, I think. Yeah, it was here. Kinda cut off from him, which is not really ideal, obviously, and also because it's kind of moot point on the map. It doesn't have any strategical importance, and it's not really as well placed as Chef's, because Chef's basically half covers the choke points into his own base, those two, and well, yeah, this is a bit of an advantage for Chef. Well, this is gutsy. We have seen this actually from Chef when he played against Temista in the previous game that I've cast of his, and is he maybe going Ares yet again? So far he's going for Theseus to actually capture the relics. Probably I think he will be going for the Black Lotus so that it doesn't fall into enemy hands. And well, he needs just 20 extra. And is it going to be Ares then? Oh, it actually is. It is actually Ares, and he is not going for the Hippicons as I expected at the very start. And well, this is going to be quite interesting. how Magic will fare against this early attack. Will it be the same as the Mista, or will Chef actually succeed this time? Well, we'll see pretty soon, I guess. Some upgrades coming in. So far, not for the house, so not really any kind of upgrade. And let's finish with what actually Chef is doing, or rather his opponent iMagic. iMagic is right now at an unsafe hand because he probably didn't expect that his opponent is going to advance as early and as aggressively. And well, even the Pharaoh in here, Namra, is going to be a bit of a problem as Theseus is already coming in, and this is a pretty big problem for Magic because he will be at least food starved for a bit more, for a bit longer right now, and that's not ideal for him at all. What about his other placement of food? Some Ellis on the right, if he can wall on the right side, of course, and otherwise not much. Not much really. Nothing in the base, just one gazelle. Quite a lot of food on it actually still, and otherwise there's a bit of a hunt on the left, so potentially if he was cleverly looking at this tree line, that's quite helpful for him. He can just build a short wall in here and he will be safe. It's going to be something that he could actually rely on, and he needs to protect the left side of the map because obviously those two goals are going to be very crucial for him. Let's put on the fog of 4. He knows about the one, not about the second one. That was scouted by the piggies in here, but otherwise he should be seen enough to actually realize that he needs to protect the left side as much as he can. So right now Theseus seems to be heading into the graveyard and underworld reasonably soon, and though let's not be hasty. This is kinda weird play by Magic, because I would be expecting, since he has cast the prosperity, that he might actually want the villagers to do something useful, which they weren't. They were just catching up with the Theseus right now. Even transport ship and dog from Chef. Well, he's definitely going for it quite aggressively with double stables in here, and this is going to be quite fun game indeed, it seems. Right now he has broken through the walls as his Cyclops is trying to tackle those priests, but with Hippolyta coming in to help him, he might not even be dead as soon as maybe Magic hoped. Not really understand the transport ship. I would be expecting that maybe it's because he actually wants something to basically allow his units to run away from the fight if it's going to be going badly for them. And see, advance at 6 minutes, yeah, obviously not ideal from Magic, but since he has cast Prosperity, he's probably aiming to go for faster Heroic. Those guys going for the barracks, and he might have actually be forced into switching his idea about what to do next, because he has advanced also through Anubis, which is also kind of unusual, obviously. And, well, we are probably going to be seeing a bit of a classical fight, and of course, also some extra TCs from Magic. So far, though, it seems like the Chef is controlling the map quite nicely. You can see that Magic is attempting to go for the rock as well, but he might be just a bit too slow. And yep, this is exactly why the transport ship is such a damn clever idea, because it's not only working as a gate in a wall, basically allowing you to run away from potential damage and threats and whatnot, it also allows you to actually move quite fast around the map. Looking at this very nice placement of this pawn, which is basically allowing Chef to control all the right side of the map. So nicely played, and even though he's right now losing the Cyclops, he's still doing quite decent damage to the economy of his opponent, because there are quite a lot of villies built in town center, and also in the process dying. Oh, this one is almost dead. If only Chef actually knew, but he obviously didn't, and right now it's going to be a bit difficult, because it seems like that Magic is paying attention, and yep, he is periodically hiding his villagers together with the Pharaoh inside the TC and trying to make sure that there are not any extra losses. This is a bit unfortunate position for Chef, obviously, because he cannot retreat through the right side or any side whatsoever, so he needs to go somewhere else, but what he did manage is stop yet another hunting spot from being available to Magic, and at the same time he has stopped the dog, which is very important for his control of the left side of the map. Quite a lot of hit beacons for him. In the meantime, since we are having a bit of a nothing going on right now, with Magic switching to the left for the gazelles in here, let's check the upgrades into economy. We see pickaxe from Magic, understandable, and otherwise hand axe from Chef. That's kinda curious that he actually went for hand axe and not pickaxe, because you would be expecting that pickaxe would be as important for him. Also, because obviously he needs to be careful about the gold gold income for his Epicons, but otherwise, yeah, just as we are predicting this, he is going for this pickaxe. It's going to be very important for him. Also, nice to notice is Magic is right now trying to engage in a bit of a raid with the Anubite. The gold, obviously, because that's the crucial resource, but so far he seems to be a bit more into scouting, and right now, finally, he is here. But he could also use some extra attack, but yeah. That's so far not happening, so he'll be probably jumping about here. No, not really. So let's switch into the main action in here. That's happening at the top, and that's yet again Chef making sure that he actually prevents Magic from any safe hand gathering. And that's, I think, pretty annoying from Magic. And you can see that he is having pretty lopsided economy. Just 25 food, 282 wood, and 730 gold, which is basically telling you that he is in a pretty bad spot with this economy. As, yeah, he doesn't have any safe spot for hunting. He cannot really go to the food source on the right for the elephants, and he will probably be forced to switch into farms pretty soon, because looking how his piggies are running out, yeah, it's not like he has all that many options left to him. So that's very nicely played from Chef. He's basically developing in the middle those two stables all the time, and also quite a lot of Epicons right now moving to the left, and this is a pretty decent army. And looking how Magic is having just a few slingers, literally one spearman and some priests. Well, yeah, this is probably not going to work for him all that much, because I would be expecting that, yeah, finally switching into farms in here, that he would be wanting to do something more than just a bit of a raiding by the Anubites in here, which is of course also not working as well as it could have been, because of the Hippolyta and potentially even towers that could be researched by Chef sometime soon. And if they are, well, I kinda think that's going to be it for the raiding from Magic. So far, Chef is not really doing anything else than trying to raid his opponent and basically deny all the food sources on the right side through the transport ship and on the left through the other sources. And he's also trying to do a bit of a scouting. So right now he has a pretty good idea about the left side of the map, and the control of the left side of the map is super important, because yet again, those two goals, there are no goals on the right side, the same as Chef is not having anything at the bottom, but also because if Chef can control this part, he will deny Iron Magic an important trade route, because the trade from here to this TC is obviously crucial, and if he is forced to go for a trade route from here to the main TC, that's just terribly short, and I'm reasonably sure it's not going to be enough to make sure that Magic's gold needs are going to be met. Another attempt on the gold in here, not successful, with medium Epicons coming in from Chef and having a pretty decent economy overall. And even though he is not housed yet, so he still has quite a lot of extra population for the Epicons, he is in a pretty nice spot, but he needs to be careful about this laborer. Come on. Oh well, just out of sight for these Epicons, so that they don't aggro on it, and that's kinda unfortunate, because it seems like that Magic will be able to finish with the wall. And it's bad for him, obviously, because right now it could have denied him some kind of maneuver ability, but fortunately for him, he was able to kill it soon enough, as it was almost dead, and right now he is heading into the big battle, as even though Magic is not having all that many spearmen, he is thinking that he really needs to expand, and I don't really doubt that, because obviously his main gold mine has just run out, and he needs to develop somewhere. This is going to be a pretty big battle. And obviously Magic is not really caring about losing any villages, because he needs literally any gold that he can get. You can see that he's running low. He's having just a lot of wood, which is not bad, obviously, because he can use that for slingers and whatnot and some upgrades and such. But obviously, yeah, he needs the gold as an Egyptian, and this is going to be a very important battle for the minutes to come. So far it almost seems like that Magic is actually winning, which is slightly surprising, but at the same time, look at how he's very nicely using also villages and basically blocking the path to his slingers and priests and whatnot. He is making quite nice use of the range units, and yeah, he did play this quite nicely indeed. So this Anubite is going to be dead reasonably soon. This one also, but it's not like it's going to matter all that much, as Magic is right now slightly stabilizing. He's having decent army, decent amount of spearmen, and he can potentially hold his ground if he is lucky enough. What I would do if I were Magic was build a tower in here, because towers are absolutely deadly to any cavalry, and since he seems to be heading into a pretty decent amount of gold, he is probably going to be thinking about exactly that. If he has any villagers left. So far he's having like 10 on the left and losing quite a lot of them to the raiding from Chef, because he is with one flank engaging in the army of Magic, whereas the other flank is just killing the villagers, and that's exactly what he needs to do. Because if he can deny the gold gathering, he doesn't really need to mind losing his units on the right side to the opponent's army, because obviously he will be crippling what Magic is doing. You can see that Magic is leading by just 3 points on the score, 6 by now, and that's not something that would be enough to actually allow him to control the map overall. So yet again, well, I wouldn't really be calling it a successful defense by Magic, because obviously it causing quite a lot of villages, downtime on the economy and even units, but at the same time, that's literally all he can do. Right now all those villages are almost dead and they are just going to be slaughtered, even by Hippolyta in here, and the extra reinforcements coming in. Well, yep. Oh my, this hurts. This hurts so much. Hippolyta just now dying as well for her homeland, but at any rate, those two villages are dying as well. Yep. Oh man. Oh man. Right now Magic is literally down to 4 villages on gold, and I have to check into the post game because he's right now in a pretty terrible spot. Let's check on the civilians in here. He is having like 36 villages maybe, whereas Chef is having 40, but much more importantly, it's a drop for Magic from 50 into 36, so that's like 14-15 villages dead for him. Oh well, that's a big problem. That's a big problem, and let's see if he can somehow live with that. On the right side, it seems like the Chef wasn't paying enough attention, and his Remet doesn't have enough range to actually go for the elephant gatherers in here, but finally he is also joining with Hippicons. So yep, he was paying enough attention, and he is going to be attempting to deny the food spot to Magic yet again. Coming in here, and at the same time on the left, very nice concentrated attack, but he needs the Theseus and potentially Hippolyta as well, because obviously those Anubites, even though the Hippicons should be able to deal with them in proper numbers, he doesn't have the numbers now, and oh yeah, these extra attacks especially are going to be pretty troublesome. At the same time though, Chef is right now advancing through Aphrodite, basically killing the gold economy of his opponent yet again, and this is not a waste of the curse at all, because even though he didn't catch all that many units, he caught a lot of villages in here, 4 villages for Magic, and that's absolutely terrible. He's now giving a bit of a food to his opponent, but yeah, Magic doesn't really mind all that much, as he's already in pretty much full food economy on the farms. But he is also right now having a decent army of his spearmen to defend exactly at this spot. With the Pharaoh in here, the Cyclops. Yeah, having a bit of a throwing game. With proper micro, yeah, Chef should be winning. And it seems like Magic is right now recognizing the situation and is retreating to the protection of his tower. So yep, that's nicely played by Magic, or rather nicely gauged, but at the same time very nicely played by Chef, yet again denying his opponent any kind of gold. Bit of a radiance still going on by Magic, which is basically the only thing that he can do against his opponent, and well, he is arriving at the sweet spot, and even though Theseus is going to help, oh yeah, I was maybe hoping that he can actually spread into multiple villages with the extra attacks. Oh, and this is very nicely used, because yeah, this is exactly how you should use Anubites. You basically jump into some tough spot, like in the middle of those villages, and basically deny any kind of opportunity for Chef to retreat, and also to get at him with the Theseus and also the Nemean Lion. Let's check the upgrades on the economy. We see Hendak's pickaxe, so not any kind of extra upgrades for Chef, whereas what do we see for Magic? We don't even see Plow. Well, I would be expecting that actually that would be some upgrade that he would be wanting to do as soon as possible, but looking how he's actually low on gold, that's probably the reason why he didn't go for it yet, as he basically wants to make sure that he has more than enough army for actually defense first, but otherwise, yeah, he needs to be careful, as he is yet again denied on the elephants in here, and of course, Doesn't have any kind of extra resources in here, just a few piggies and whatnot, and that's going to be pretty much it. On the left, that's basically the only part of the map that Chef has to take care of right now, because there's the gold for Magic, and otherwise Magic doesn't have extra gold, just one on here on the left, which is not his, and potentially one on the right, which is not all that guarded by Chef, and it's not in his direct line of sight, I think. You can see right now Chef is finally going for a second TC as well, and looking at this gold, yep, potentially Magic can sneak here. It's not going to be easy, as he would have to get rid of all those, or rather those two Hippicons, but if he can sneak in there, and potentially even this gold on the right, well, that would be gutsy. It would be gutsy, but definitely something that Chef wouldn't be counting with, and to be some kind of possibility for the red player. But it's not happening. It's got a Scopus right now, seeing where the woodgatherers are. But, oh, well, this was a very nice slaughter. That was very nicely caught by Magic, denying the TC at least for a moment. So he was able to kill... Oh, oh, especially 6 villagers actually. Well, that's a lot. But that's a very nice catch by Chef, or rather by Magic, and not enough attention paid by Chef, but at the same time he was right now able to repel them, and will be able to finish with the TC in just a matter of moments. You can see that Magic has made yet another attempt to advance into the left. The Gazelle is dying from that, but yeah, obviously all those villagers are pretty much toast, and they are not going to survive much longer, with heavy Hippicons already in through Chef, and since Magic is not advancing into the next age, and won't be anytime soon, you see he just has literally no gold, having 2000 wood and 500 food, but no gold. Yeah, that's no good for Egyptian, and obviously he is right now in a pretty tough spot to deal with any kind of aggression from his opponent. But at the same time, it has to be said that it's kinda awesome from Magic to be able to hold on so long without any kind of access to a reasonable gold for an Egyptian, and yeah. That is really what makes expert players, being able to survive in situations where normal or rather lower level players would be already resigned, because obviously I myself don't really know what I would be doing without any kind of gold with an Egyptian. So yep, this is it right now on the left side, and Magic, well, I'm not exactly sure what he can do right now. He can just gather a lot of wood and a lot of food, but obviously that's not going to work out all that much for him, and he just has to rely on the monuments and the Anubites, because that's basically the only unit that he can make. Because it costs just food and the favor, but the favor is kinda not cheap, as he also needs some gold for the monuments and whatnot. Yep, need gold for the monuments, and that's obviously a problem for iMagic. But this is a pretty decent army, and Chef is right now engaging in some walling, basically trying to make sure that his opponent doesn't run into some kind of position like here, or even potentially here, exactly as you were talking about a bit earlier, and with a very nice control of the gold on the left, and basically all his army in there being ready as well. Well, that's a decent amount of Anubites. That could be potentially a problem, but yeah, if Chef manages to actually micro this properly, he will be in a pretty good spot to get rid of this army, and it might be just a bit too much for actually Magic to handle, with the Pharaoh right now dying, and those Anubites dying as well to Hippolyta, and once Theseus gets there as well, yep, that's going to be it, and Magic right now is finally out of ideas, and maybe even out of patience, because possibly he could just play the game a bit longer, but without the gold. It was just kind of inevitable, and with no way to advance into the heroic age, whereas Chef is already at 3 TCs, and that one is stolen from Magic. Yep, there was not much that he could have done, and very, very well played and very nicely controlled from Chef from the very start. Let's have a look at the post game, with Chef winning absolutely everything, which is basically no wonder. A good economy. Just 3,500 gold for Magic as an Egyptian. Well, yeah, that tells you that he was having pretty big problems. Nice military count, obviously, and units killed. Well, he was killing a lot of villagers as well. A lot of Hippicons, a lot of Guardian Anubites on the other side. Yeah, this raiding was pretty brutal. That was the point where I was actually showing you where Magic lost all that many villages on the gold in there. From like 50, he went down even under 30 to like 27 maybe. Well, that's massacre if I ever saw one. And well, at the same time, Chef not really losing anything. Just here, I think that was next to the TC, 5-6 villages that he lost there, and that was basically the only huge loss, with the one at the beginning from a bit of a raiding also by the Anubites from his opponent Magic. Yeah, you can see just Magic having no gold. This is a better graph. He was having just gold in here. That was about the start of the game. But then it went downhill and he wasn't able to recuperate at all. Well, nicely played, GG, and I hope you enjoyed the game as well, because it was quite nice control by Chef and definitely an idea what you can do against even a very powerful ISIS. So this is how you play against an Egyptian. Well, yet again, nicely played. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, hit the thumb up below the video to like it, and also subscribe for more videos like this. So thank you for watching. I've been Blackadder at Blackadder's Place, and see you later.